Welcome to today's Daily Report market analysis videos with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Hantec. On Monday, the 11th of May, it's been an interesting open actually today. There was an early gain that we saw through risk appetite. We saw some decent moves actually. Equities opened half to maybe 1% higher, but that's sort of turned around as we've sort of developed this European session. The dollar seems to be rising to the top of the performance board, ticking higher on that dollar index as it's seen outperformance across the forex majors actually, turning around earlier losses. The yen is a big underperformer today, and in conjunction with the New Zealand dollar as well. So sort of fairly mixed messages that we're getting from there. We've got treasury yields which ticked higher on Friday. I mean, we had that really outstandingly eye-watering non-farm payrolls report, which yields actually ticked higher through into the close, so a little bit higher again today. So little real direction in terms of this swing higher for the dollar and also swing lower as we've gone on through risk appetite, and we're just waiting to see how this one pans out really, because if you look at say like the futures for the E-minis contracts for S&P, pulling a bit lower, but not decisively yet, and it's fairly mixed, and we're still sort of chopping around. The recent consolidation we've seen through markets is fairly much still in place. I'll talk about DAX as my chart of the day, and you can see that on the DAX how the market has reacted back towards a bit of a pivot area of 10,820 is interesting. So yeah, how markets respond, I think, in the coming days will be key, because a lot of these forex majors are still around their sort of neutral areas. So we're still looking at how markets are going to respond. Now, in terms of today's moves, we've got no data, no speakers, so we're pretty much as we are in terms of direction. We've got the chart of the day, which is the DAX, though, and you can see here on the DAX where we've sort of developed into this higher range, I suppose, for an extent, and within that range you've got this pivot at 10,820. Broke above that on Friday. It looked to be gaining some quite decent ground early morning today, but that's been retreated back and not too far off that 10,820 mark now. But that was a breakout level which became resistance again last week, basis of that resistance, and then gapped through that, and then it became a basis of support at again 10,820 on Friday. So that is your initial line of support, which you can see here on the hourly chart. But essentially there is an edge towards risk positive bias still, even though that we've had this couple of candles on the hourly chart which has fallen away. We're still trading above that pivot line, which I think is important on a near-term basis. And if that continues to hold, then you're sort of edging towards the 11,235 level, trading above all these hourly moving averages as well, which are essentially rising. So this is still a very slight positive risk bias here, but just losing the impetus of Friday's rally and the early morning move today. So yeah, we're still sort of waiting to see if the shackles can be truly released on these moves, because last week in our Trader Talks video I was discussing about the fact that the DAX was a fairly good indication of risk appetite, and sort of trading underneath this old uptrend. It was a little bit of a negative lean, but sort of moving back above that pivot line 10,820 sort of helped to improve that, but still trading underneath that resistance of 11,235 is key. So you got this support band sort of 10,600, which is Wednesday's low. If the market can hold above that, then essentially is still fairly positively configured, but losing that you get 10,137 back in play again. But some mixed messages that we're getting across the DAX, and to be honest across several markets, major markets today. So with that in mind, I wish you good luck in your trading. Click here to subscribe to our analysis videos and go to our website where you can sign up for our webinars.